Hi, my name's Toby and we're here at Rutland Water today to talk to you about thermal imaging cameras and the best cases to use them in the nature aspect. And now we're in the Hyde and the weather has now turned worse. This is where I personally use a thermal the most. When you're looking out over the water, we've got a few islands and vegetation here, where at first it doesn't look like there's a huge amount, but then when you use a thermal and have a quick scan, straight away there's a few teal actually sat on one of these islands. We've got some snipe as well as some gadwall that, unless you had a spotting scope and you were scanning for ages, you'd slightly be able to pick these out. Using a thermal, you pick them out straight away, and just, again, birds that you wouldn't normally see. This is where the thermal really comes into its own. I've said we've got the water and the vegetation out here, but behind me we've also got the reed bed, and they always hide loads of animals, and that's where with a thermal you're going to be able to find those birds, especially a bittern for example, or even if there's a deer inside. You could be spending ages waiting to see it, but using a thermal you can scan, you can find the bird, and then you can enjoy watching that bird for a long period of time. Within the ZEISS range there are 4 different models of thermal imaging device. We have the DTI 1, which is this model here, the DTI 3 Generation 2, the DTI 4 and the DTI 6. With each model there are 2 variations. One of them has a wider field of view and then the other one has a greater detection distance but a narrower field of view, very similar to how an 8 times and a 10 times binocular works. With the DTI 1 you have an LCOS display and they can detect up to 1,000 meters of a man-sized object. The next step up in the ZEISS family is the DTI 3 Generation 2. This is the thermal that we originally brought out that was recently been given an upgrade. There is the 25 version, which has a wider field of view and a shorter detection range, and the 35, which has a narrower field of view but a further detection range. These have a 384 sensor and an AMOLED display. The next one in the ZEISS family is the DTI 4. This comes with a 640 sensor on both models. There is the 35 version, which has a wider field of view and that narrower detection range, and then this one, my personal favourite, the 450, with a narrow field of view but a much further detection range of up to 2.5 kilometers of a man-sized object. And the most premium thermal in the ZEISS family is the DTI 6. This varies in a few different ways to the other thermals we've been shown. Firstly, these have a binocular eye cup. There is an external battery that you can take in and out, but also, and more importantly, interchangeable lenses. So this currently has a 20mm lens on it, which has a very wide field of view but a narrower detection range. You could then equip this with a 40mm lens simply by unscrewing it, just like a camera would, and then you can see inside the thermal. You could then put a 40mm lens on it, which has a greater detection range but a narrower field of view. For the DTI 1, 3 and 4, the layout of the products are all the same. At the end you have your focus wheel, you then have your on and off button, your button that can take photos and videos, your optical zoom of up to 4 times, and then this button with 3 lines can change your different colour palettes. You can also hold this down and go into the settings and you have loads of extra benefits inside. And then you have a diopter on the side.